Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Today we'll be talking about mindset training for personal growth. You hear me say it at the end of every video, right? It is a mindset, guys. And then I say whatever phrase I improvise in the moment that relates to the video topic, and sometimes it works out really well and I'm very happy, and sometimes it's not quite as good. But today I wanted to talk about what do we actually mean with mindset and how can you train it, because you got to realize, guys, mindset is hugely what I'm about. Like, just as much about building a physique, building the mindset, and of course I would say that they go perfectly hand in hand. So there's so many things to talk about, guys. Like, of course, many of my videos where the word mindset isn't necessarily outright mentioned are still about mindset. But so I want to do this video as a sort of starting point for further videos where we maybe get a little bit more specific, but this video should serve as an introduction to what actually is the mindset and how do you train it. So a mindset, if we think about what it is, it's not just all these like catchy phrases we say. Like, let's talk about one. I like to say, you're not hungry, you're experiencing weight loss. Like, those things are not the mindset. Those are more like the exercises you use to build the mindset. If we think about the mindset being as what the physique is to the body, the mindset is to the brain. It's a certain shape you built yourself into, right? So you have certain strengths, a certain flexibility, certain abilities. And just like the physique doesn't just appear out of nowhere, it is a result of training to build that physique. In the exact same way, the mindset has to be built through training. So of course you could sit down and be like, oh, I'm going to train my mind, but it's more something you do all the time. So let me just talk about how I started working on this. Like, one of the first things I did, because I think for it to be this like constantly ongoing process to be working on your mindset, because guys, I'm working on and building my mindset every day throughout the day, right? But so one thing is to even start bringing awareness into your inner world, right? So many of us, we autopilot. Like, of course, when you're thinking about it right now, you're like, oh no, I'm thinking, I see, I'm here, oh, I'm in my mind, blah, blah. But really, it's autopilot behavior. To get that, you have to install the function of actually examining what is going on within. So how I started doing that is I have done a silent prayer by Jesse Lee Peterson that I link in the description here. And it's an exercise where you're just supposed to sit and watch your thoughts. And that's basically it, because you're going to notice that, well, Jesse, the way he says it is that you don't create your thoughts. I would say that you have certain influence over it. You don't fully, like if I tell you now, don't think of a black cat, you're going to think of a black cat. But when I'm aware, I can choose to think, I want to think about something else. Let's think about this. Let's think of it this way. Let's change the story I'm telling about the same thing here, right? So doing something like Jesse Lee's silent prayer, it gets you into the habit of looking within and actually stopping for a moment, like, hey, what's going on with my thoughts right here, right? But then now, so you're going to have to notice certain patterns within yourself and what just is not helpful and how you would like to look at things, right? And like I tell you, these catchy phrases we come up with, they are just tools to get there. It's not like, oh, you just need to know the right phrase and now you'll be thinking about things in the right way. So let's take that example again with the fasting or weight loss. You're not hungry, you're experiencing weight loss. Look, when I was cutting earlier on in my journey here, whether that was with a daily deficit or fasting, I felt hungry many times. I wanted to eat, and I did it when I'm not supposed to many times, right? But I use these mindset tools. I should say too that many times the mindset, just from taking action, you develop a mindset too, but even faster and more consciously so, if you're consciously choosing to think certain thoughts. So I would be on my ass when I felt hungry. It's like, no, this is just what it feels to be fasted. Nope, this is just what it feels to be cutting, And after having, been able to cut weight, whether that's finishing a fast or sticking to a daily deficit for many, enough times, it's like my body here is like, hey, this guy is fucking crazy. It doesn't matter how hungry we make him. Clearly he's not eating. it's a waste of energy. It's a complete waste of energy to keep making this guy hungry, because he's not eating anyway. So let's just stop even thinking of it as hunger. Let's actually, this is what weight loss feels like. This is what being fasted feels like. So, you know, when I do videos for you and I talk about my experience, I say that I'm hungry, for instance, but I'm not really. You know, it's just to describe to you. But for me, it's like, yeah, I can notice certain physical sensations in my body, but I have completely disassociated this with having to eat. And if I get the odd moment when I like actually start going, imagine someone mentioning some kind of food, and I start imagining it or something, and I'm deep into a fast. Well, I've learned to just like, there's no way, there's no point in following that train of thought, because I'll just be more and more tempted to eat something. And you know, at this point, I don't even believe that I'm gonna eat, but I'm just gonna have an unpleasant experience wanting to eat and not getting to that, right? It's like, I could get lost in a fantasy like that, just get like, shit, now I'm hungry. But I trained my mind to, well, my mind now knows there's no point in making this guy hungry, because he's not gonna eat. It's a complete waste of energy. And I've also trained my mind to, when I start going there, I can just be like, no, not gonna go there. Auto-suggestion is what that's called, guys. When you just tell yourself to do or not do it. Like right now, I just stop thinking about that. Just do the thing right now, all right? And so, one other thing that this is what I mean with sometimes just taking the right actions will shape your mindset in and of itself. Like when I went through that with the panic attacks I went through, it was so many, I didn't have any catchy phrases to tell me then, but what I learned, proved to myself throughout that process was that when I face the difficult, what's extremely tough, what I want to run from, when I go into when I'm most uncomfortable, on the other side of that is leveling up. I'm gonna feel more comfortable, I'm gonna feel more confident, I'm gonna feel more accomplished, I'm gonna feel much better about myself. So, because of this initial experience, and then kind of built on upon with starting the training, when I see the same thing, that I don't like training now, it's tough, I don't look forward to it, I'm happy when it's over, but I'm feeling much better in my life, and I'm getting stronger, I'm looking better, you know. So these things together kind of just installed in me that when I notice that I feel like running away from something, I feel nervous, I feel uncomfortable, now I actually, my feeling is that of not wanting to do the thing, but because I installed this function that growth situation detected, I gotta do this thing I feel nervous about now, right? Example of that. So I used to have immense stage fright, right? And I used to treat it the completely wrong way. I try to fight me being nervous. So it just becomes worse and worse and worse and worse. Like, oh, now I'm getting nervous for the speech I'm gonna have or whatever I'm gonna do, you know. I can't be like that, gotta shut it down, da-da-da-da-da. But that's the thing, I can't control everything. I can't control, I can choose to look at it and act a certain way, ride with it, learn to dance with it. So one instance of this, when I was working in a gym, long story short, one like group training instructor was sick, and I might have to jump in. I've never done this, so it's on many levels. You know, I have had stage fright, so just being like the center of attention, leading a group training class. I've never led the class. I'm gonna have to have a script to look at. There's also like technology, using the mic and the speakers. I've never done this. You know, there are many new things, short like this, and I noticed myself getting nervous about it. But now, I see that before, like my initial reaction is like, oh, can I run away? Can I find someone else to do this, you know? But then I realized, that is one of those opportunities for growth. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous. Perfect. That means growth is on the other side of this, you see? And so take a thing like morning cold showers. When I start about it, like I know these things. Like, yeah, there are some health benefits from cold showers, but I had two main intentions, really. That wake-up thing, you know, a little shock in the morning to get me like, ching, ready to get to work fast, you know. But also a little discipline thing of choosing to face discomfort first thing you do in the morning, when you don't have to, self-imposed adversity like that. So when I start doing it, you know, I want to avoid it, I have lots of feelings of not wanting to do it, and I get myself to do it. And you know, there's a little instant effect of like, yeah, that felt good, you know, but still, it's not just in me as a whole. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do this every morning, you know, you feel that way about it. Now when I've done this for years at this point, every morning, literally every morning, now it has come so far that even, because in the morning cold shower, I personally never like get used to it. So, because you know, certain cold plunges at certain times, they can actually be quite enjoyable when you've adapted, like this is fresh out in nature, something like that, you know. But in the morning specifically, I just never look forward to any of it like that. But it sits so deep in me now that, yeah, I do actually wake up, and yes, I do start my day by doing something a little bit uncomfortable, so everything else gets easier. So even when I start, like my inner monologue at this point, I say like, we don't have to today, blah, blah, blah. I've installed it so deep into my mindset that no, it's going to be for the best in the end. And this is exactly why. This is exactly why, because I feel this resistance now. That's why it's so good, you know. And what more? What more do we have, guys? It's like, well, so also, when you do other kind of cold exposure, like when I've walked to the lake in the middle of the winter, you know, when I did these things, when I was newer to it, I would walk there like dreading the thing, like I'm getting stressed walking there, and you know, coming there and like I gotta get in. Ooh, you know, you make this whole thing about it, and you're wasting. It's an energy leak, you know. Now I've done it so many times that I just know, you know, the most efficient way. It's gonna be uncomfortable, yeah. The most efficient thing to do here is to just show up, get undressed, get in as fast as possible without thinking as little as possible about it, right? And yeah, one thing here about, you know, mindset during darker times, when you're in a low frequency state, a contraction period, you're just vibing really low, feeling those worst feelings of just shame, guilt, apathy all the time. Even there, I've installed the mindset, because I've seen it now, when I felt my worst, or with the panic attacks, and before, it was just not panic attacks, but a very terrible state. It was going through that and coming out on the other side made me feel the best ever. And since then, when I've gone through tougher periods in my life, I've come back and reached a new level of feeling great and amazing and happy and grateful again. So even that, I had a very difficult year last year. Many times I wish it would be over, but I hold on to what I know in my mindset, that it is because I can feel this way that I can feel great. It's necessary, and this means that there's something to be learned here. I can't experience it right now. It feels very tough, but I know that that's why it's so necessary and why I will come out on the other side. And when the little negative brain wants to be like, yeah, but why can't you, if you know that it's good, why doesn't it feel good, you know? Because that's the whole point. It exists by contrast. It has to feel bad and hopeless and not possible now, because then it will feel so amazing when it in fact was possible, and you reach that next level, and so on, guys. And so many things like this, you know, you come up with your little ways of framing things while taking action in a certain direction. Sometimes, like I tell you, the action in and of itself just creates the mindset, that it's like you subconsciously just notice that, no, it's just a complete waste of time. It's like things here, guys. I make up a completely random example, because this is like a general thing. Let's say that I have no eggs left, so I'm gonna go down to buy eggs and break my fast for the day. And I have a little bit of stuff to do after that, you know, on a schedule. But I drop the eggs, they break. Well, I can get upset about it and be like, oh, why, blah, 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 blah. But the sooner I realize that, well, Theo, you're gonna go and get new eggs and eat them anyway, so there's absolutely no point. It's like, yeah, get it out of your system, whine a little bit now. But the sooner you could just be like, okay, I go back and get new ones. The more efficient it will be, the more it will be like it never happened, right? But I can, of course, just waste a ton of energy. Oh, that's so stupid. Oh, now I have to go again. Oh, I'm going to be late to this, blah, 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 you know. So on, guys. And so what I'm working on lately, mostly for myself, is it's two things that are quite related, really. Just being instead of doing, and not judging myself when I'm not doing what I guess just identify as being productive. So they are related, because when I'm not being productive, I should stop doing a lot of the time and start being. And of course, we've got to reframe, what is even being productive? Is it just grinding hard work? Or is it resting and winding down so that you can keep grinding hard, right? But so, I know this with myself, that when I feel like I'm in a state of doing, I do what I think is productive. So things for my self-improvement, like training, stuff like that, working with clients, finishing a program for someone, recording a video, going to buy stuff, food, cleaning up a little bit in my house or whatever, something that feels like it's getting some kind of job done, And I can notice that when there's an empty space in my day, I can judge myself to feel like I should be doing more. And that's one thing, just catching my automated pattern there, that I associate being productive with just being worthy, lovable, being okay, And then I just had to catch myself and be like, hey, no, it's not that you have to do, to like produce all the time to be worthy. And when I feel that self-judgment and I catch it, I can just let it go. But another thing that's related is about being. That's, it's very much that practice, the silent prayer. It's, you're observing, right? You're just looking at your inner experience, but it's very easy to just get caught up in your thoughts, even when you don't feel like this example. I had one day where I have a bunch of stuff to do, and when I'm heading to do one of the things, and I just feel so like stressed, like, oh, should I do it in this order? And I just realized that, well, I have many things to do, but I definitely have enough time to do it today. So there's no stress in that sense. Now I'm just like having to go ahead of myself so much. Let's just be here in the now and go do this first task, which is going to this store and buying this thing. And as soon as I just reminded myself of that yeah, I will figure it out later. I don't have to know everything to a T now. I just could be relaxed and just do the thing, right? And so how I practice this a lot too is that I already do stuff like that, and I would tell all of you guys, even if I'm sure some of you are watching my videos when you're on a walk or when you're training or whatever, but sometimes just do stuff and just do them without having friggin' music or YouTube or some podcast or something, just do and think about doing the thing. I do this actively a lot. Like when because it's okay, of course, sometimes I also have YouTube on when I do something sometimes, but sometimes I'm just like, nah, you know what? I'm just gonna go out for a walk without anything. And you know what? I'm gonna clean the dishes or clean the kitchen without anything. I'm just gonna be thinking about what I'm doing, right? And I've actually started doing this when I feel like this pressure from myself that you need to be productive, or it's no good, you should be, you have done these things, sure, but you should be doing this, and this right now, and I'm like tired, and so it's a conflict. I get stressed out about being tired, but I'm thinking about all these things I should do. But when I've started doing it, just lie down or sit down, and just shut that monologue down by just thinking about the moment. It feels so good to sit here. Oh, my body, it feels really nice, Oh, those sounds, oh, I can feel the smell from this, And what the point of those things that can seem silly are, is to just bring you to the here and now, instead of being stuck in your little negative thought loop there. So guys, I've talked for almost 20 minutes. I didn't know the video was going to get so long, but I hope it's kind of clear what I mean here. That you build a way of functioning for your mind, a shape for your mind, very much like a physique. And that's the mindset. But it takes action. It's not just about thinking about stuff, but in combination with reframing things. And you're going to have to do it over and over and over. Just like building a physique, it's not going hitting a workout once and you blew up. It's doing it over time. And then it's just that it's a little bit more abstract of a process. And I think building the mindset can be more compared to, like, it's interesting. It's so I get so inspired, guys. But all these self-development processes, they are they're overlapping, but they're not perfect. But so describing the mindset, comparing it to a physique, I think is good. But I think the process towards there, it's a little bit more like dieting, because it's going to be a little back and forth, and it's not necessarily just about pushing through exercises and increasing numbers. It's kind of adhering to a certain regimen, because, when you're changing your mindset, your way of thinking, of course, you're going to fall back into old patterns, just like a person that's dieting is doing, might gain a bit back, but you need to pick it up and start keep the weight loss, but the mindset transformation going, I just want to stop and think. I guess a good point to end on, guys, is that when you see anyone Take someone like David Goggins or me. You're like, how can you just do those things, you know? Or I would like to be a person that is just like that disciplined. They can just do the thing, like whatever they're told to do, you know, or need to do. They can just do it like that. I wish I was more like that, you know. What you have to realize is that that's not just it is a mindset. What you're seeing in practice with me, with everything I do, it is the mindset that I built. I'm not born like disciplined or that I just leading. I've been the laziest person ever, running from all the scary, difficult things, and I built myself this way over time. That's what I want you to understand with this, guys. That your mindset can be changed. The way you're currently functioning, the way you're currently looking at and feeling about things, it can change, but it has to be changed just in a way. You have to follow a diet to lose weight. You have to follow a training program, progressively overload to build muscle. You have to mindset train. And this is, of course, among the things I coach on coaching calls, these reminders of things. That's so much what you do with clients, guys, on the Elite program. So if you're interested in my coaching programs, you can send me DM on Instagram or email me. It's in the description below. I'll tell you about my different programs. And yeah, like and comment, guys. It's going to be very interesting to hear. Please comment, because like I said, this is like a start-off video. I do many mindset videos, but on the actual like shaping the mindset like this. So please comment. And yeah, you can buy my training book. Some mindset in there. It's mostly focused on the training, but mindset as it relates to training, to support me and your gains. And you can become a Patreon or a member of the channel, or leave a little super thanks comment just to support me and my content. It's very much appreciated, guys. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fast losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. This right here, it can be trained. You get just as jacked as your body. And the body is an expression of the mindset. Peace.